I'm Dr. Weatherford. I'm a teacher here at Da Vinci Science High School. I teach government and economics. I have been in education for 15 years now. I've been a teacher and an instructional coach and an assistant principal and a principal. And now I am teaching again, and I've taught in LA and Boston and now Hawthorne.
Why did you want to become a teacher?
Well, I don't think I knew I wanted to be a teacher till I was in college. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an Air Force pilot, and then I decided kind of at the last minute I didn't want to do that, so I went to college not really knowing what I wanted to do. Thought maybe I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I started working with kids in urban neighborhoods in Oakwood and some places on the west side, and I started tutoring them, and I just realized that they had a very different kind of opportunity for education than I had growing up, and I was sort of shocked by the state of schools in Los Angeles, and I thought maybe I should be a teacher so I can keep working with kids and hopefully help them get a good education. And I had some really impactful teachers when I was growing up as well who had left a big kind of mark on me in the way I thought. And yeah, so I thought maybe it would be fun and it could be something I was good at.
Why did you come to Da Vinci?
I came to Da Vinci because of the pay. They pay so much. No, I'm just kidding. I came to Da Vinci because I know some people who worked at Da Vinci, and they had told me how awesome it was. And I was a principal at a charter school, and so I liked charter schools. And I knew this area a little bit because of friends who'd worked at Hawthorne and other schools in the area, and my wife had actually worked at Hawthorne High School as well. So I thought it could be a good kind of area where I would feel like I was, working with kids I wanted to work with, and yet working at a school that was, successful. And when I came and visited last year, I was just really impressed by the students that I saw and kind of the culture and the vibe of the school. And it seemed, I was excited about it. So I jumped at the chance to come and teach here.
Why did you just step down from being principal and teacher?
Well, being a principal is a pretty stressful and time-consuming job. And I think you have to be really passionate about it and really enjoy it. And at first, I was really passionate about it and really enjoyed it. And then I was only a principal for 3 years, but by the third year, the stresses of the job were kind of outweighing the enjoyment of the job. And especially when I had 2 little kids at home, and I felt like I wasn't, around enough for them because I was supervising basketball games or soccer games or had to stay late for parent meetings or board meetings. There was just a lot of times where I would get home and I didn't even get to see my daughter, my baby, before she even went to bed. And I was sort of like, well, I feel like I'm doing a lot of good for other people and I'm pretty good at this, but I don't really feel like I'm getting to spend enough time with my family. And then, like I said, I liked it and I was good at it, but it's not really rewarding in the same way being a teacher is rewarding. Being a teacher is really rewarding on like a day-to-day basis, and being a principal is more rewarding sort of like in the abstract, knowing that you're doing something good like long-term or big picture. Whereas the times I had the most fun as a principal was when I was like supervising a soccer game and just hanging out with the soccer players and we were talking and laughing and stuff, or we were, I got to substitute a class and I was actually teaching something, and so sometimes I would go in and like co-teach with a teacher or model a lesson plan for them, and I just kept thinking like, this is when I have the most fun. Why am I not just doing this all the time instead of being in parent meetings with angry parents or being in a student meeting where I'm having to talk to students who are absent too much or tardy too much or not doing their work and in danger of not graduating. Things like that.
Can you describe your teaching experience here at Da Vinci so far?
It's been really terrific. Like I said, when I came and visited last year, I was really impressed by the students and the culture that I saw at the school, and so I had high expectations, and they've not only been met, but I would say exceeded, just by how excited the students are about learning and engaged they are, and they're respectful, and they're just all the students are just good. You can just tell they're good people, and I think that's a testament to how many great teachers they've had, and to Steve and Aaron and the other people who've helped kind of create the school that you guys have here at Da Vinci. So I've been really happy and really enjoyed my experience so far.
Do you ever see yourself being principal again?
Yeah, I might go back someday. Maybe when my kids are, I joke that maybe when my kids are back when they're teenagers and they don't want me around anymore, and they won't mind if I get home late, maybe I'll go back. But I'm just having so much fun teaching now that I think it'll be a while before I get the itch to leave the classroom again. Because it's rewarding being a principal, but in a very different way. And so I'm having a lot of fun teaching government economics right now.
Okay, great.
Knowing that you have been a principal before, do you still feel like, since you've been a teacher here, do you still feel like you have some type of principal roles that you still do, like in the meetings and the teacher meetings? Do you feel like sometimes you take like kind of ahead of everybody, or do you feel like some of the teachers actually look up to you, knowing that you have been a principal before?
I try to be really cognizant actually of the fact that some people might be like intimidated or nervous because I was a principal at some point, and so I try really hard to not do stuff like that. So I actually probably say less in meetings than I would normally if I hadn't been a principal before, just because I don't want to step on anybody's toes and have anybody say like, oh, he's just saying that because he thinks he knows everything. So I don't have a lot of opinions that I don't have to share, just because things are, really well run here, and I generally agree with everything that's going on. So it's a good question, but I everybody has been really, I think, receptive and embracing of me, and has it made me feel like I'm just one of the team, which I appreciate. So I was a little worried people would be like, act a little different around me or something because of that. So they haven't been like that, and I am just acting like a teacher.
We had done some research and we watched Waiting for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that?
I have not, but I know a lot about it.
Yeah. Knowing the charter system, do you believe, because I know the charter system, sometimes you have to be, there's a
Waitlist or a
waiting
lottery.
list, a lottery. Do you believe in that? Because in a way that's only, certain students get this type of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And that means the students that get on the waiting list, or that never even get accepted.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that?
About the waiting list
Yeah, about
and
the
lottery system?
Do you feel,
Both? Two questions? All right. Well, at my previous school, we had a lottery as well, so that's like a state law type of thing. When you're charter school, if you have a wait list, you have to run a lottery. So it's just kind of the way it is in California and really throughout the country. It is, yeah, it's unfortunate, and we had very similar situations to what you saw in the movie, where parents would be like, crying or screaming they were so happy, or really angry and yelling at me or my staff because they didn't get accepted, or their name didn't get pulled in the lottery, or they were really far down on the wait list. So, it's not a made-up thing in that movie. It's true, and I think it's just reflective of how important good education is to a lot of families, and in their minds, they see there to be a really big divide between charter schools and a lot of the regular public schools that they would be normally be sending their kids to. I think even because I've worked in those regular public schools as well, even in those schools there are great teachers, but it takes a lot of kind of what we call in education social capital on the part of the parents to recognize which teachers are good and which are bad, and to have the power to sort of negotiate on behalf of their kids and say, I want this teacher that's good. And that's not fair to them. They shouldn't have to do that. People deserve a school where they can just trust that when their kids go to school, their teachers are all going to be good. And I think charter schools, that's one of the reasons why I work in a charter school now, is because they do have the opportunity to make sure that the teachers are good. And that's what makes Da Vinci great. Not only are there great students, but the reason why the students are great and act great and have a good attitude is because they know that they have good teachers who really care about them and are really dedicated to them. And that's not always the case, unfortunately.